Colorado's Kush, KUSH, the highest station in the nation. You got Big Mike doing it up to you. It's 9 o'clock straight up in the Mile High City. Glad you could be with us this evening. Little rainy outside, cool. Temperature says it's 51 degrees. After having some time in the sunshine, the cold dreariness of rain is kind of a bummer. Kind of a bummer because I just put new tires on my friggin' bike, man, and now it's raining. You believe it? New shoes. My Harley Davidson is turning 16 this year. 16 this year, and I can't get a sound effect from any of the production staff in the KUSH studios. Fred, Barney, anybody? Does anybody have any, not even a drum? We are in the sub cellar down in the KUSH studios. Yes, we are the redheaded stepchildren. We are the people your mother warned you about. KUSH, the highest station in the nation. We are running straight from a green perspective. Totally fueled on green. Hops and barley. Hops and barley. The rain makes you weird. I was on Facebook earlier. I like Facebook. Some of my listeners presently know me by Facebook. If you are listening via being interested via Facebook, I really appreciate the fact that you decided to join us. You get Big Mike doing it to you from the highest station in the nation and the lowest underground. They try to hide Big Mike from the mainstream. They deprive me of production staff. They say I'm mean. I say I'm funny. I'm quirky. I'm quirky. Try it on. I was on Facebook earlier and I was reading some posts, and one of the posts was by somebody that was upset. She was upset with her purchase. She spent a lot of money on this purchase without saying the exact figure. Let's just say it's like, I don't know, $1,600. For a roundabout figure, let's say $1,600. Now, maybe that's not a lot of money to the Big Mike listening audience. I know we got some high ballers in the park. Hoo-hoo. High ballers. Giving you a shout out, man. Come on. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Yes, I got a drum machine. I got no production staff in the sub cellar. There's an echo. And I still think I'm doing it better than Fred and Barney. I do miss having a co-host because the beer bottles are stacking up. If you are interested in being Big Mike's co-host, understand that emptying or getting rid of the empties is a must. You got Big Mike at 9:05. KUSH, the highest station in the nation. This is the evening hour. And I started to talk about this woman who was not satisfied with her purchase. And perhaps, and what I promised was I was going to keep just basically the details out of it because I don't think the details are important. She was involved with a online, what I assume began online and continued to be a in-person romance. And I assume all this because I didn't read much further because I'm a dude. My attention span is very short. So I got the general gist of it. You know, there's a lot of bad dudes online. There's a lot of dudes that are just out for whatever, I mean, it is a predator's market when you're shopping for love. And that's true whether you're shopping for it in the bars, in your cars, in a boat, with a goat. It's true. It's very true. Online predators are out there. But there's predators in your local supermarket. And there's predators that work at your local fucking supermarket. Did you check out the price of milk? Holy fuck, man. And we're fucking bitching about gasoline? Where is the dairy state, man? Represent, man. Bring us some dairy products at a lower price. Get the dairy state back on the map. I'm for it, man. Big Mike's for it. If we have any dairy state listeners, back in your play, brothers. Back in your play, man. We want Wisconsin dairy products out here in the Mile High City. I would back that. I would buy your product. I do buy your products. I'm a cheesehead. I'm a cheesehead. I'm a cheesehead. Fortunately, Big Mike runs his broadcast a little bit on the well-done side of being baked. We do it up to ya. We're smoking it up in the evening hour. Hope everybody is enjoying your evening. And maybe some of our listeners have been online and took a chance, met somebody. I know my sister is, I think, married, 10, 11 years to some guy she met online. And I'm not sure what the particulars were. It wasn't a dating site. I think it was a gaming site, a role-playing site. I hear some of those are getting interesting. I'm glad I've never developed that habit. It's right there with heroin. It's right there with heroin. I'm glad I didn't develop that habit either. Praise God for the little things, When I think of all the bad habits that I do have, and I ran out of paper when I was making the list, I don't know, sometime back in 1987. I've continued the list of bad habits that I've developed over the years and added to the list, and I subtracted a few. I started to write them in pencil because I was an optimistic person in 1987. I felt like bad habits would go away if you just ignored them. Wrong. Bad habits are like illegitimate children. You may not raise them, but you are going to pay for the support. You do pay for bad habits that you don't address. We do. We pay the price. And unfortunately, and my heart does go out to the people that do get jacked or taken advantage of in any form of trying to find true love or trying to, basically just be happy. It's a sad person that preys on people that really just want to feel safe and secure. It's a bummer. I remember when I met my wife 20 some odd years ago, one of the conversations we had, and I felt like in my wisdom when I still had a mullet and a porn mustache, I had wisdom with the mullet. The mullet brought wisdom. And for all you young people listening, we didn't call them fucking mullets when we fucking went to the barber shop. It wasn't like we went in and fucking said, hey, give me a mullet. All right, well, I'm waiting for my mullet too. There were lines at the Great Clips trying to get the hairstyle that was business in the front and a party in the back. Baby. For you younger people, no, we did not call them mullets. We didn't call them fades. Yeah, we did call them fades. We had rat tails. We had tails, rat tails, and one ear pierced while we're bumping Run DMC from our Jensens and Pioneers. eventually moving up to the Alpine. The Alpine. The Alpine. The Alpine stereo with the green lights, man. It was always cool. Ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages, listen up. I felt like even then, women were vulnerable when they were too trusting of anybody. And I feel like men, yes, we find ourselves in the same boat. Yes, we're too trusting sometimes too. And we try, as we get older, as we learn from our experiences, as we get jacked time after time again, hopefully it's not too many times. I'm rather hard-headed. I've made more than one mistake. No. Yes, it is true. Big Mike's made more than one mistake. I never set out to be perfect. I set up for disappointment right out the gate. Why set up for disappointment? Yes, it is disheartening sometimes to see the seedy side of people, and when you learn from firsthand experience, it's hard to be trusting again. And the sad part about it is the nature that gets us into the situations where we do get jacked stem from our loneliness and our wanting to be complete, our wanting to share memories. And I've often thought, and I've often been of the opinion that you can't really create a memory unless there's somebody there to back your play. You know what I'm saying? It's not really a memory if it's by yourself. I mean, you can tell, and I tell a lot of fucking stories. I tell a lot of stories, huge amounts of stories. Got stories on top of stories. I got stories that are true. Some are based on a true story. Some just sound like they're true, but they have no factual basis whatsoever. Try to warn people before I tell those. You got Big Mike doing it up. 9:13 in the PM. My heart does go out to the people looking for love, the people that are trusting, the people with open hearts and open minds and allow free thought and allow for the one exception. I remember a girl I dated before, way in the, if you Wayne's World, you figure the blurry image now. We're going into the way back in yesteryear, when pop was a nickel and school was uphill both ways. It was always wintertime and always snowing when we wanted to learn. And we walked it. We walked it to learn and buy our weed. But school was uphill both ways. Missing the bus was a mistake. Because it was a long freaking walk, man. And as much as, and this always boggled me, but you would think, as much as my parents were upset about my truancy, and knowing how far that fucking school was from my house, you would think a proactive parent might offer a ride. Yes, it does develop the potential for bad habits. But the likelihood of me going to school would have increased 100% rather than ending up at the dropout's house. Because there's always a dropout house in every neighborhood. There's the kids that didn't make it, decided that the GED was a better way to go. And the GED was a good deal when you were looking at it from a ninth grader's perspective. The GED seemed like the bomb, dude, for half days. Yes, the half days.